I love a good old-fashioned behind the woodshed beatdown. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis destroying Joe Biden in his attempt to try and attack Florida over their policies that are against mandates, against all these rules and regulations relating to the shot for the bug, if you catch my drift. It's weird because a lot of people, a lot of leftists don't like what's happening right now in California, New York, Illinois, and they're fleeing. I mean, the Californians, they coming by the boatload, by the train load, by the bus load to Tennessee, to Texas, to Florida. Same thing with New Yorkers. They're flying. They're like snowbirds in the summertime. You understand what I'm saying? They're going to Florida ASAP. Now, is it because Ron DeSantis is a terrible governor and doesn't know what he's doing and it's a disaster down there? I don't think so. I think what Florida is doing is a model for the entire country. That's why Ron DeSantis is so very popular and, quite frankly, the front runner for the 2024 election, aside from Trump, if he wants to run, but that's a different story, and I digress. Let's get to this video from Ron DeSantis where he addressed Joe Biden's points about Florida getting in the way of progress, all this and that and the third. And after we get done with that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what he said there. Then I'll give you my 2 cents, my deep detail analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
I just want to say something quickly. Joe Biden has taken to himself to try to single out Florida over COVID. This is a guy who ran for president saying he was going to, quote, shut down the virus. And what has he done? He's imported more virus from around the world by having a wide open southern border. You have hundreds of thousands of people pouring across every month. And it's not just from Mexico. In fact, it's rarely from Mexico. You have over 100 different countries where people are pouring through. Not only are they letting them through, they're then farming them out all across our communities across this country, putting them on planes, putting them on buses. Do you think they're being worried about COVID for that? Of course not. So he's facilitating. Who knows what new variants are out there, but I can tell you whatever variants are around the world, they're coming across that southern border. And so he's not shutting down the virus, he's helping to facilitate it in our country. And what is his big solution? What is he so upset about Florida? His solution is he wants to have the government force kindergartners to wear masks in school. He doesn't believe the parents should have a say in that. He thinks that should be a decision for the government. Well, I can tell you in Florida, the parents are going to be the ones in charge of that decision. And one of the major medical people in his administration just recently told parents that they should be wearing masks at home when they're around their own children. This is insane. Joe Biden also believes that vaccination should be mandated by force of government and that you should have to show vaccination status to be able to participate in society. Now, Florida, we're very proud of our Seniors First strategy. You look at the mortality in nursing homes among seniors, it's declined dramatically. But we said from the beginning, we're going to make it available for all, but we're not going to mandate it on anybody. That's ultimately an individual's choice to be able to do it. Biden, he rejects science because he denies the fact that people that recover from COVID have long-lasting immunity. And that's been proven time and time again, and the data is very clear. So his vision is, just like in New York City, restaurants should ban young kids from being able to go in because they're not eligible for vaccination, and law-abiding citizens have to produce proof of their medical records just to go to the gym or attend an event or just to participate in everyday society. He wants that, but yet if you want to vote, he thinks it's too much of a burden to show a picture ID when you're voting. So no voter ID, but have to show your medical papers just to be able to live in everyday life? Give me a break. And so I think the question is we can either have a free society or we can have a biomedical security state. And I can tell you, Florida, we're a free state. People are going to be free to choose to make their own decisions about themselves, about their families, about their kids' education, and about putting food on the table. And Joe Biden suggests that if you don't do lockdown policies, then you should, quote, get out of the way. But let me tell you this. If you're coming after the rights of parents in Florida, I'm standing in your way. I'm not going to let you get away with it. If you're trying to deny kids a proper in-person education, I'm going to stand in your way, and I'm going to stand up for the kids in Florida. If you're trying to restrict people, impose mandates, if you're trying to ruin their jobs and their livelihoods and their small business, if you are trying to lock people down, I am standing in your way, and I'm standing for the people of Florida. So why don't you do your job? Why don't you get this border secure? And until you do that, I don't want to hear a blip about COVID from you. Thank you.
All right, you saw that, you heard that. Now, I couldn't have said that any better myself. Bravo to the governor. Hats off to him. That was very well done. He addressed everything perfectly. And my main issue with Joe Biden and all these leftists that want to attack Florida, that want to attack conservatives in general, is that they don't really follow the so-called science. They trust the science whenever they want to believe in the science. Okay? If they want to have lockdowns and mandatory vaccines, mandatory testing, and masks, and they want to have all these things for American citizens, but then when it comes to illegal aliens, they just let them do whatever they want to do. No mask mandate, really. No distancing, no vaccine, no testing, no nothing. They just leave the border wide open, pretty much escort them in and say, hey, where you want to go? You want to get on the plane, train, automobile? It's nothing. We'll take you to wherever you want to go. We're getting thousands of them every single day. Remember the whole thing about kids in cages during the Trump administration? That seems to have disappeared, although there are many more so-called kids in cages. And as a matter of fact, sometimes the cages are so overcrowded, they got to put them under bridges and makeshift camps outside in 1,000-degree heat, right in the middle of the desert in Texas and Arizona, New Mexico, California, etc. So it's like, okay, what are we really doing here? What exactly are we doing? If safety is a concern, if the spread of all these variants is a concern, then why is the southern border wide open? And as the governor said, they're not coming from one country, not just Mexico, but all over the world. Africans, Asians, Europeans, everywhere. Chinese people, whoever, because they come to the southern border from other countries. They fly, they go on the boat, they do whatever they can. I saw some Haitians. I think they said they went through 9 different countries to get to the border. Same thing with some West Africans. There's a lot of Chinese. I think China has a number 2 illegal immigrant group out of Central America. Like the number 2. They're humongous coming to the southern border illegally. You ever see these massage parlors get raided? I think they got into the country with all these illegal aliens speak no English. Straight Chinese names. They ain't speaking a lick of English. They need interpreters. I mean, come on. What's happening here? We're having a lot of drugs come through, a lot of the virus come through, a little bit of everything coming through the southern border, and it's no problem. We pretty much just let that happen. And as a matter of fact, we facilitated, we distributed, then at the same time, we're worried about the vaccine spreading. So your 5-year-old's got to put on the mask in school. Why? For what? We're not really being serious. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, okay, you have a gigantic pothole in the middle of the road, right? I'm talking about the hole is so big you can see down to the core of the earth. It's humongous. You don't patch that hole up, but some of the little smaller indentations in the road, some of the divots in the road, you want to fix that. And if they are not fixed, then you want to levy all kind of fines and whatnot on those who are responsible for the road. Well, how about this big pothole right here that you can go all the way down to the core of the earth? It's a whole volcano right here. Like, what's going on? Oh, no, that's no problem. It's okay. That is illegal immigration and all the laws that are being broken as it relates to coming into the country, spreading the bug and everything else. So we're just not really being serious. And shout out to DeSantis for standing up for American citizens, not having these lockdowns, not having these things that we all know are not going to work. We know it doesn't really, that the lockdowns just, all it did was just kill the country. It killed economy. Now we got to spend a bunch of money to try to bring it back. And we're still trying to recover from that financially. I'm not sure if we can ever recover financially as a country with all the debt and everything, the culture of dependence that we have. And you want to go back to that? I think not. And then I like how DeSantis brought up how Biden and people of his ilk, the left, the far left, they want to go back to a Jim Crow type society. It was the Democrats that did it to begin with, having colored and whites and that type of thing. Now it's going to be vaxxed and non-vaxxed and papers, please. Do we want to go back in society that way? I don't believe that we do. So shout out to Ron DeSantis. He said everything right, 100% correct. And as I've said before, I like him to be the front runner in 2024 election. It could be Trump. It could be him. I don't really know. But either one of those guys, if they were to get in there, they most certainly have my vote. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about Ron DeSantis? And how do you feel about what he said here? Was he correct, incorrect? Whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I'm a big Ron DeSantis fan. I know he's been a proponent of the vaccine, but I can't really blame him because half of your state is going to want it. Bare minimum, they're going to want it, especially if you're a senior citizen. So it's a lot of seniors in Florida. Obviously, a lot of seniors go to Florida to retire. So you want to make sure that they have access to it. And that's what it was. It's okay. If you want it, you can go to Publix. It's down the road from where you live. It's no problem. Remember when there was a hit piece against him from 60 Minutes talking about Publix gave him money. That's why he gave them the vaccines first. What are you talking? The Publix stores are convenient for seniors to be able to go get it. That is what his whole process was. This just goes to show you that no matter what a conservative person does, the liberal media will find a way to attack him. But shout out to DeSantis for not paying the haters any mind and just doing his job very well. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.